So this is a short video to tell you how to take a test online in Art 115. First, you want to prepare for the exam, so go over the review sheet, which is a focused way of studying. You don't want to study everything in every chapter. That's not necessary. Not everything is on the test. So look at the list and take notes on that. You can go back and look at the book or my video lectures, and you should use those notes during the exam. That is, I feel, the most focused way to be successful on the exam. You will be given your essay question ahead of time. It will be on week 3 with the exam and separately, and you should type that out and get that ready to just copy and paste right into the exam. It is worth 20 points. So you have 1/5 of the exam grade is in, your complete control ahead of time. Set aside an hour and find a quiet place. Be sure to be in a setting with good Wi-Fi, and I should say a time. If there's a storm or something, maybe you don't want to take it during that time. And log in on Blackboard and launch the test. The test is open from Sunday to Sunday, unless there's a midterm or something that might have a different date. But it's usually due on Sunday. Is this time at 11:59 p.m., just like the units are. When you log in, unless noted, the timer is set for 60 minutes. It is set for 60 minutes on this first exam with forced completion, which means you will be kicked off after an hour. Whether you're done or not, it will end at an hour and there will be no more time given. There's no backtracking allowed, so once you see a question, you must submit it. You can't go back and you can't see them all at once. So make sure, you do your best on each question as you go through. The questions are generated in a random order for each test, so no two students will have the same question in the same order. You did not have time to just use your book to look up information, so take notes based on the review sheet and study. Please don't take the time to look up dates. Use time periods when asked, like late Gothic, early Italian Renaissance, high Renaissance, etc. Specific dates will be looked at as cheating. I don't want you to memorize all the dates, just the time periods. So, for instance, the Arena Chapel by Giotto was built in 1305, or it was painted in 1305. I can know that. This is my area of study. You don't need to waste your brain power for that. Just late Gothic for Giotto is fine. Please don't waste your time. All right, what to expect on the exam. Types of questions. There'll be multiple choice, and that will be information you should know about an object or time period. I'll give an example in a second. There'll be sets of matching where you'll be given a series of images, and there'll be terms, time periods, or titles. Mostly it's terms, it's not things that are easy to look up. Chronological ordering, so numbered earliest to most recent. So you should see, you should know what came when because art history is linear and it should be kind of self-evident, but nonetheless, you will have a question about it. You'll have the essay, which you will have to upload. And then other types, these aren't on the first exam, but you will have them on other tests. Attributions, where you will be given an image that you have not seen in the chapter that I have assigned, but they are similar to something you have seen, usually by the same artist or very, very specific style. And you'll state what you think it is and how it looks like something specific that we have covered. And I'll show you an example. So these are examples of what a multiple choice would look like, or I'm sorry, a matching would look like. So made very late in Michelangelo's career. So that's A, and you have to know who Michelangelo is and what his art looks like. Late Gothic altarpiece, you would have to know what an altarpiece is and what late Gothic is, and that's the Berlinghieri here. And then we have the last one, thought to be the first use of linear perspective in the Italian Renaissance. So if you knew what perspective is and you knew the word first, what came when, you would understand that this Masaccio is much earlier than Michelangelo, and this has no perspective in it whatsoever. So those are the types of terms to matching that you would have. And it's meant so that you can't just, look it up. It's meant for you to apply the information that we've been covering. A practice attribution, again, there's not one on the first exam, but there are some in later tests, just to put this all in one video. So an attribution is what art historians do when old things are found and they have to come identify them. They get a scholar, an expert in, and they attribute it to, which is an educated guess, to a time period or a specific artist based on what they see. So, for instance, this one here, now that I just said Giotto, you could say, well, this looks a lot like a Giotto because of the way he handles the form, and then the blue background looks like all the other paintings in the Arena Chapel, and the way the shading is starting to happen, but it's not very advanced, and the idea of trying his hand at linear perspective. So all those things would be a reason. All right, the essay for exam number 1 is on week 3 module. So you are allowed and encouraged, and please do this ahead of time. I'm always a little, it's a mystery to me why students don't, because you're going to run out of time. The time limit is so that you don't have forever to look everything up. And that means the bigger question, you should already have written. It should be a thoughtful essay. So you should use your textbook and notes to answer that question. So the question is, how has the way artists have shown naturalistic space in painting, so make sure you're talking about two-dimensional works, changed from the late Gothic to the High Renaissance? And we've had other sort of things that we've looked at this for. So one example you will give from the late Gothic, one from the early Renaissance, and one from the High Renaissance. So you need 3 examples to trace this path of this development of linear perspective or naturalistic space. So this is the rubric, how the element of space is. You will establish that, right? What is the element of space in two-dimensional art? I should say not how, what the element of space is. You should, that's your clarification statement. Then you will give your 3 examples identified correctly. Each example should be described and analyzed concerning the use of space, and you should trace the development and differences between each. So going in chronological order is probably an organized way to answer this question. A note about the essay: it is not a research paper. It is meant to give you a test question ahead of time, and I'd like you to treat it as such. I don't want a 5-page essay. If you were sitting in my class on campus and we had a test, you probably would not write more than 3 paragraphs. I don't think that you need to. It's worth 20 points on the test. So treat it that way, as long as you have your 3 examples and you have established what linear space is or what naturalistic space is, and you've described and analyzed each of your own examples, and then you've pointed out the differences. You will be all set. The test is designed to be fair and discourage cheating. That's why the matching doesn't just say this was painted by Michelangelo. That was something you could look up easily. So don't toggle between windows or let your screen time out. If you run out to the store or to the restroom and your computer, times out, you'll be kicked out of the exam. It won't be there waiting for you when you get back. There'll be no retakes for missing the deadline or internet issues as per the syllabus. And this is out of fairness to everybody in the course and to the integrity of the test, please. So, if you have sketchy internet at your house, then go to campus or a library or wherever you're going to have good internet and take it there. And I do not recommend taking it on your phone. I know lots of you work. Don't go on your work break and log in and try to take the test. You're looking at pictures so small, it doesn't make any sense. It's not fair to yourself to take it that way. Okay, so I hope that helps. Please let me know if you have any questions before taking the exam. Thank you.